Microsoft's Surface Pro is the most iconic detachable tablet and has maintained a significant lead in the Windows 2-1 market in both performance and mindshare. That hasn't stopped Microsoft's OEM partners from jumping into the game with their own versions of the most flexible format, with varying success. In our Asus Transformer Pro T304 review, we're taking a look at a near clone of the Surface Pro that hopes to use a lower price to carve out its own piece of the growing segment. The main question is, can a machine that looks so much like the Surface Pro, seriously, you'd have a hard time telling them apart from across a room, differentiate itself enough to grab your hard-earned cash? It might if you look at the price. Our review unit offered a 7th generation Intel Core i7-7500U, 8GB of RAM, and 256GB SATA solid-state drive, SSD, for a cool $1,000. Right now, our review configuration is the only one available at retail, except for a special version at wholesaler Costco with the Core i7-7500U, 16GB of RAM, and 512GB SATA SSD for $1,400, on sale for $1,200. The closest equivalent Microsoft Surface Pro runs $1,600, and the Asus Transformer Pro T304 includes a keyboard cover and active pen, whereas the Surface Pro does not. Add in the Microsoft Signature type cover, $160, and the Surface Pen, $100, and the Surface Pro comes in at $1,860. That's approaching twice as much as the Asus alternative. Price is only one consideration, however. We've seen many Surface imitators fall short. Does the Asus Transformer Pro T304 bring enough features and performance to turn its low price into real value? Like the Surface Pro, only different. If you were to set the Surface Pro and the Transformer Pro T304 side by side on a table, the average person would have a hard time telling them apart from across the room. The Transformer Pro T304 uses a similar silver magnesium aluminum alloy chassis, has an almost identical kickstand, and the charcoal keyboard cover that shipped with our review unit is the spitting image of Microsoft's type cover. There are differences, however, when you get the machines in your hands. The Transformer Pro T304 doesn't have the same solid chunk of metal feel about it. It doesn't feel cheap or poorly made by any mean, but Asus doesn't match Microsoft's efforts at exuding elegant quality. Also, the kickstand might look the same, and it extends out to a full 170-degree angle versus the Surface Pro's 165 degrees, but it doesn't feel the same. The action is not as smooth, and indicates a little less engineering prowess. Even so, the Transformer Pro T304 feels like a quality product. It's similar in weight at 1.79 pounds, versus around 1.7 pounds for the Surface Pro. It has smooth enough edges that it's comfortable to hold as a tablet, and its keyboard cover offers the same magnetic auto-off, and auto-on, something the Surface Pro lacks. Functionality. There were no creaks or twists to imply the Transformer Pro T304 won't hold up to long-term use. In other words, the Transformer Pro T304 is a well-made detachable tablet with all the same strengths and weaknesses of its class. It's excellent as a tablet, and it can serve as a bona fide laptop as long as you use it on a stable platform. The tablet and keyboard are connected via strong magnets, so you won't worry about them inadvertently coming apart, though you'll still sense some instability when you're using it in your lap. Input options are diverse and good enough for productive work. Like all detachable tablets, the Asus Transformer Pro T304 has a plethora of input options that match the machine's diversity. As a tablet, it begs to be used with just touch and a pen, yet there's no better way to input copious amounts of information than a standard keyboard. The Transformer Pro T304 accommodates these needs quite well. Asus offers two keyboards for the Transformer Pro T304, a version with an aluminum cover, and the charcoal-colored version that came with our review unit. That version has a soft touch feel that's similar to the original Microsoft type cover for the Surface Pro 3, and it has the same general bounciness when you type on it. Bounce is a common trait of these kinds of keyboard covers, so it's not a knock against the Transformer Pro T304 specifically. The keys offer a solid 1.4 mm of travel, almost as much as an average laptop, and a generally snappy response that should provide a comfortable experience for most touch typists. In addition, the keyboard layout is familiar, with all the right-sized keys in all the right places. It's attached using magnets and a pogo pin connector, so it offers the typical flat and inclined typing positions. Best of all, it stays connected just as it should. The touchpad is also good enough, and it's a full 17% larger than the Microsoft equivalent. Its glass coating is smooth and comfortable for fast and efficient cursor control, and the buttons are responsive without being overly loud. Because it's a Microsoft Precision touchpad, all the built-in gestures are available, and they're just as precise as the name implies. Asus includes its active pin with the Transformer Pro T304. This is one area where the Asus machine lags the Surface Pro, with the former offering 1024 levels of pressure sensitivity compared to the latter's 4096 levels. And the Asus Pen doesn't respond as quickly as Microsoft's latest, with just a hint of lag when you're writing quickly across the touchscreen display. That leaves the Transformer Pro T304 near the rest of the detachable pack. Finally, the Transformer's 10-point multi-touch display responds quickly and accurately, which is the norm with Windows 10 touchscreen machines today. It provides an excellent experience whether in tablet or laptop mode. Windows Hello support is included, but Asus went with a fingerprint scanner rather than an infrared camera for facial recognition. The Transformer Pro T304 takes a unique approach, however, with the fingerprint scanner embedded within the power button for one-touch wake and login. It worked well, with fingerprints recognized